What is going on, everyone? My name is Eric and you're watching the Get Me Out of Here vlog. Behind me is one of the most famous national memorials in the United States. This is Mount Rushmore National Memorial here in Keystone, South Dakota, near the Black Hills. Beautiful region. It's been 19 years since I've been here, so I am incredibly excited to share this with you. This is, again, one of the most famous sculptures on the planet, a tribute to our founding fathers and presidents. You've got George Washington, the first president. You've got Thomas Jefferson III, Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, and Theodore Roosevelt, our 26th president, all sculpted on the side of a mountain. This was constructed between the years of 1927 and 1941 by Gutzon Berglund, who was the sculptor that designed and created this. So I'm going to be taking you with me. Again, this is going to be kind of an emotional video. This is absolutely beautiful, majestic, and I can't wait to share it with you. So let's go see Mount Rushmore. Upon walking in, there's this massive stone entryway stating Mount Rushmore National Memorial. And I don't want to give it away quite yet, but literally just walking through these, you will get a glimpse of this majestic sculpture on the side of a mountain. Of course, here at the park, this is a national memorial, so I'm going to use my passport here that I've got, my national park passport, and I'm going to put the official stamp here, Mount Rushmore today. Oh, look at that. It's official. And here we go, the grand reveal. Mount Rushmore. Take a look at that. I am in awe. This is just spectacular. Now the statues stand 60 feet tall. Unbelievable. And this is the Avenue of the Flags. So they have all the state flags of the United States here on display. In fact, there's Arizona. That's the state I live in currently. Moved to Phoenix 2 years ago.
Colorado's all snagged.
Yeah, you're right. My brother Connor here lives in Colorado. He's in Denver. Where's Colorado at? Oh yeah, it is snagged. That's one of the better looking flags too. What's going on? What's up with that, Connor?
I don't know. He's perfect.
You gotta fix that. My brother and I both grew up in the state of Iowa. That's our home state. My parents still live there. Grandma still lives there. But Iowa, look at that. It is waving proud. And that's a good looking flag too. I've always liked Iowa. It's kind of got the French colors. The French explorers back in the day, and Des Moines is the capital. And have to give a shout out to Illinois as well. I lived in Chicago for the better part of 9 years before moving to Phoenix. Illinois, yeah, it's kind of boring. It's one of those with just like the old seal on it.
The hawk looks like it's
just white. Yeah, it's kind of a boring flag.
The eagle's puking the banner.
Wait, what? The eagle's puking the banner?
It's like it's coughing up the banner. I don't know.
To be honest, I've never even looked at the flag that much. Really? In Chicago, people just love the Chicago flag. Nobody waves the Illinois flag, but anyway, pretty awesome. I love seeing all the different state flags. My brother and I are complete geeks when it comes to history and geography, so we've got a lot of goals in our lives and that I'm actually documenting on this channel, and some of them are staying in the oldest hotels of all 50 states, having a beer at the oldest bar of all 50 states, and climbing to the highest point of all 50 states. So it's pretty cool.
Minnesota flag too.
Pretty cool seeing this.
Switched out the Minnesota.
Oh, they did. Yeah, the Minnesota recently updated their flag, so they got the new Minnesota flag on display. Not sure how I feel about that, to be honest.
Just a boring flag.
It is kind of boring. I didn't realize this either, but Utah just got a new flag as well.
Last year.
Oh, it was last year.
Yeah, the old one was kind of boring. It's just,
well, the new one's kind of cool. It's got like the,
blue
you can't really
seal.
see because it's not really unfurled. Oh, there you go. It's got like a beehive on it.
And the white is a mountain.
The white means mountains? Oh, I see it now. It's got,
peaks.
yeah, it's got mountain peaks. Actually, that's pretty cool.
It's a cool flag. I like it.
I like that flag.
Well done, Utah.
Yeah, I approve. Utah. There we go.
Not that they need you.
Another nerdy observation here. The state of Ohio is the only state flag that is not a rectangle. It's got like the 2 points at the end of it. It's not just the 50 states either. They also have U.S. territories. So here's the flag of Puerto Rico. We've angered the gods.
Yep, change the flag.
And there it is in all its glory. Mount Rushmore. One of the most iconic mountains and sculptures in probably not even just the United States, probably the planet. Millions of people come here every year from all over the world to see this. You got George Washington, the first president there on the left. Thomas Jefferson, the third president, and the author of the Declaration of Independence. You've got Theodore Roosevelt, who is my favorite president, Teddy Roosevelt. He was the 26th president of the United States, the early 1900s. And he actually was the founder of the national park system. And then Abraham Lincoln, who was my second favorite president, oversaw the American Civil War and freed the slaves and brought the country together, united the nation. So pretty awesome to see this. A tribute to 4 great leaders. Just amazing. You can't help but get a little emotional when you see this because it's such a beautiful piece of art. Like I said, a tribute to 4 iconic American leaders here on the side of Mount Rushmore. The mountain itself, I think, is 5,600 feet high. But a lot of work went into creating this just magnificent, enormous sculpture here on the side of this mountain. I just can't stop gazing upon this. It's so iconic, so cool. And some specs on the mountain here. The mountain itself is called Mount Rushmore, and it's 5,725 feet to the top. And a lot of work went into creating this. Again, 1927 to 1941. They ran out of funds on Halloween, October 31st, 1941. That's why you can see George Washington, actually you could see the upper part of his body in addition to his head. In fact, the original sculpture was supposed to have the upper half of all 4 presidents' bodies up to their waist. But again, they ran out of funding and just stopped in 1941. World War II also broke out that year, so I'm sure that played a part. I've also heard that there is a secret tunnel behind Abraham Lincoln's head. And it was initially supposed to be like an archive of some sorts to hold national treasures, not to quote the Nicolas Cage movie, but they were supposed to have national treasures, even the Constitution, in this vault behind Mount Rushmore, but it was halted when funding was stopped, and so the tunnel is there, but it's just empty. Kind of makes me think of the movie North by Northwest, the famous Alfred Hitchcock movie with Cary Grant, where they have a battle or they have a fight and a chase on top of the heads of Mount Rushmore. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend. There's also an auditorium at the base of the mountain where I think they do fireworks shows, presentations. It's pretty cool. Near the auditorium is an exhibit hall that's got all the history of the construction of Mount Rushmore. So if you want to learn more, you can deep dive and walk through this amazing exhibit. And I actually didn't know this. Despite the less than ideal conditions, there were no deaths during the carving of the sculpture. I can't even imagine how terrifying that would be. Hundreds of feet in the air on this wooden structure dangling over a sheer cliff. Incredible. All the wooden scaffolding that had to be constructed. These pictures are just incredible. And the men that built this are, I tip my hat to them. Tough MFers. Seriously, look at this. Each day, the workmen had to go up 700 stairs to reach the top just to get to work.
30 to 40 each summer to do the work.
Now we're talking the dynamite, the blasting that took place here on the mountain to carve out these amazing sculptures. Ultimately, 90% of the carving was done by blasting, which is incredibly remarkable because no material can be added back once it's blasted. Here's a picture of Alfred Berg, the powder man, holding several dozen prepared charges.
DuPont.
Yeah. And what's amazing too is nobody died. So this was a very well managed project. There's a photo of Berglund, the man behind the design of Mount Rushmore. And here's what Mount Rushmore looked like before the president's heads were added to it. There is a trail that actually goes around. It's a small presidential loop. You get a closer view of Mount Rushmore. So my brother and I were going to go do that trail real quick and get up close and personal to the presidents. Starting the presidential loop, you can see George Washington looking at you over the treetops. This is cool. It's a boardwalk system. Takes you right below the mountain. Take a look at this. There's like a little cave with a keyhole that looks right up George Washington's nose. Look at that.
That is a well-chiseled chin.
That is a well-chiseled chin. That guy's a total Chad.
He's got riz.
Connor, you're talking like a Gen Zer. Funny, from this angle, you can't see Teddy Roosevelt or Thomas Jefferson. But great views of Washington and Lincoln. And it amazes me how well chiseled their eyes are. That's incredible. And my brother thinks it would be cool if they shot laser beams out of their eyes.
Yes. Yes, if anyone disrupts the area.
It's like a missile.
Lasers.
It's like a missile defense system. Laser beams shooting out of the president's eyes.
Freaking lasers on their heads.
Freaking laser beams on their heads. And along the boardwalk, there are stations that show off each of the 4 presidents, and you can learn more about their past and what they did in their lives. So yeah, if you want to learn more, it's kind of a good walk and learn here on the boardwalk. And again, these views are well worth it. This is so cool. You can see Thomas Jefferson's nose starting to poke out as we walk around clockwise. It's pretty cool to see all of the rubble here, all the rocks here at the base of the mountain. I'm assuming most of this is from the creation of the sculptures, all the dynamite and explosions that went off. Taking a closer look, it's pretty cool seeing the texture differences here, kind of where Washington's coat would be. Take a look at that. The texture is quite a bit different there on the side of the mountain. And there's Teddy Roosevelt making his appearance. Now I'm able to see all 4 presidential heads. He's kind of really tucked back there. But yeah, Teddy is my favorite U.S. president. He led an amazing life. He actually he moved out west to North Dakota for a while. He's originally from New York City. And he had a horrible day, Valentine's Day. He marked it in his diary. I can't remember what year it was, but with a big X. His wife and his mother died on Valentine's Day, the same day, same year. And a depressed Teddy Roosevelt left New York City, moved out west to North Dakota to become a rancher and start a new life. So he lived out on the American frontier for a while and didn't do very well. Ended up moving back to New York City and getting into politics. and becoming president, well, vice president, and then the assassination of McKinley forced him into the presidency. Teddy Roosevelt also had a successful military campaign during the Spanish-American War. He was at the Battle of San Juan Heights, where he led the Rough Riders in a victory against the Spanish. So he was quite an amazing guy. He actually had a lot of adventures across the world too. In fact, he traveled to Africa a lot. And one of my favorite stories is called The River of Doubt, which is a true account of Teddy Roosevelt. He journeyed into the Amazon jungle in South America after his presidency and nearly died. They had discovered new rivers in the middle of the Amazon, and so it's quite an adventure. It's an amazing story. He's a very, very adventurous guy that led an incredible life. So Teddy Roosevelt is my favorite U.S. president. And that is what the sculptures were originally supposed to look like on the mountainside. They were supposed to have their full upper bodies on there. These are sketches of that record room I was telling you about. That tunnel behind Mount Rushmore was supposed to look like this. And this was the entryway. Take a look at that. Right now it's just an empty tunnel, but this was supposed to be like an archived record room. I still think they should do this. That would be amazing. So finishing up the presidential loop, super easy, like a half-mile trail. But at the end of it, be prepared. There's 425 steps. So,
It's total, though.
Is that total?
Seems like it.
I don't know. It's all uphill to get back to the beginning. So just pace, just be ready. There's a lot of steps. And of course, no journey to Mount Rushmore would be complete without taking home your own little mini presidential heads. Good job, Cotter. They've got them on t-shirts, on hats, on coffee mugs. You can get a nog in mug form. All kinds of awesome trinkets here for your heart's desire at the gift shop. There's even a jewelry shop here at the Mount Rushmore gift shop with Black Hills gold. Well, this has been a privilege to finally come here. Again, it's been 19 years since I've been to Mount Rushmore. That's half of my lifetime ago. I'm aging myself when I say that. But again, this is one of my favorite places in the United States, and as well as this whole surrounding area here, the Black Hills of South Dakota. It's such a unique place. The geography is incredible and it's beautiful, and I love that they paid this tribute to some of the greatest leaders in the history of the world, the American dream, and it's alive and well. So I'm loving everything about this. Mount Rushmore, an iconic place to visit, somewhere people make a pilgrimage to from all over, not just the USA, but the world. There's people from all over the world here that come to see this. So this is an iconic place that you should at least take a trip to at some point in your life and gaze with your own eyes upon this magnificent sculpture here on the side of a mountain. So thanks for following me today on this journey. My name is Eric. This is the Get Me Out of Here vlog, and it's time for me to get out of here. Thanks for watching. The union of these four presidents carved on the face of the everlasting hills of South Dakota will constitute a distinctly national monument. It will be decidedly American in its conception, in its magnitude, in its meaning, and altogether worthy of our country. Calvin Coolidge, President of the USA, from the dedication in 1927.
For the